What's going on, guys? This is Sam, and I'm never somebody who really gets that excited about new colors on the iPhone, but after mocking up some of the new colors that are said to be coming to the iPhone 9, the 6 to 6.1 inch LCD model later this year, I really want to get the one in orange, and the one in blue looks incredible as well. A new report dropped today talking about new iPhone colors, some other new iPhone details, and we got a new leaked document showing that Apple is planning to release new Macs and iPads relatively soon or later this year, so let's go ahead and jump in. First, I want to jump into the new report that came out from TF International Securities, courtesy of Min Chi Ko. He shared new details on iPhone coloring. He said that the top-of-the-line model, the 6.5-inch OLED iPhone 10, what I'm calling the iPhone 11 Plus, is going to come in three colors. So black and silver, just like it has in the past. I believe he called it black and white, but those colors will remain from 2017 going forward into 2018. But Apple has apparently solved their production issues with applying gold to the anodized stainless steel and also to the back of the phone, because we are getting gold with the top of the line iPhone. Now, it doesn't specifically say that the second generation iPhone 10 or base iPhone 11 will be getting the new gold color, but it would be really weird for Apple to release one high-end model with a new color and then just totally skip out on the second, not as high-end model. So I see them bringing gold to both. We actually saw leaked images from the FCC a couple months ago that show us what I think is exactly how the gold color is going to look on the iPhone 10 in 2018. It's a very similar color to what we already have on the iPhone 8, and I'm a big fan of it. I have a gold iPhone 8 and I think it looks really good. I think it was my favorite color of the three new iPhone 8 colors that came out until we saw product red, and that's where we get into the second half of this story. So to differentiate the lower end LCD model, what I'm calling the iPhone 9 now, Apple's planning to do something just like what they did with the iPhone 5C to show everyone that this device is really different, that it is really something new. They're going to release a number of colors alongside this. We're talking black and white, just like we've seen in the past. The report calls the color gray, so it's probably just going to be space gray again, but we're hearing gray, white, blue, red, and orange, which is 5 colors on launch. We're not going to see that green or pinkish color or even yellow that we saw with the iPhone 5C. I never thought that those looked that great. So I tested out these colors on the iPhone 8 Plus just to get an idea of how it would look. And I have to say, my favorite new one that could be coming is definitely orange. I never thought that orange would look really great on an iPhone, but if you look at this photo right here, this looks like you just put the orange of the fruit onto the iPhone, and I think it looks absolutely incredible. But I also know a lot of people just don't like orange. So what about blue? A much more likable color, I would argue. I also tried blue on the iPhone 8 Plus, and this one also looks so good. I did a Q&A where I talked about wanting to see more colors on the iPhone a couple months ago, and seeing this applied through my minimal Pixelmator editing skills, I have to say I would love to see a phone like this, but I want to hear your thoughts down below. In addition to orange and blue, red is also supposed to be happening on launch with the iPhone 9 this year, which is interesting because Apple generally waits a couple of months into the release cycle to spur sales or make people a little bit more excited about it. We saw that with the product red iPhone 7 in 2017. We saw that with the product red iPhone 8 just earlier this year in March or April of 2018. So I'm sure the trend will continue because Apple has a great partnership with the Product Red Foundation fighting against global HIV and AIDS. Maybe they just moved that mission up a few months on launch. And I have a feeling that if Apple did move the red color up on launch, it would actually generate more money for the global fund just because more people would be able to buy it on launch. And a lot of people wait until September every year to get their new iPhones. They don't wait till September, don't see the color that they wanted, and then wait another 7 months. They're just going to settle on a color that maybe they weren't in love with because they needed a new phone. Because we've seen how gray and white have looked on an iPhone forever, it doesn't take that much imagination to envision it on the 6 to 6.1 inch LCD model. It's going to look like every other space gray or silver/white iPhone that we've seen in the past. I don't think that there's going to be anything new there. The biggest question that I have remaining about this report is whether or not the back is going to be glass or aluminum, because we had heard a long time ago that the new LCD iPhone coming this year was going to have a metal back. Now, no one recently has really been talking about this. No one else has been speaking to wireless charging, if we're going to see that, if we aren't. It's not that we've heard for sure wireless charging is coming, because conversely, we haven't heard that wireless charging isn't coming. So I don't know. I mean, Apple could totally just switch back to aluminum and add all these colors on anodized aluminum like they did with the product red iPhone 7. I don't know yet. I really hope Apple sticks with a glass back for the iPhone 9, the LCD model, and a glass back on the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Plus coming this year, but we don't know. We do know almost for sure that glass back is coming to the higher end models, but for this lower end model, Apple could cut costs even further and remove wireless charging and give us a anodized aluminum back like we saw on iPhones for a number of years. The last thing that Ko mentions in his report is once again the pricing for the LCD model, and we're hearing sub $700, which I'm pretty sure is going to mean $699 for the LCD iPhone. Apple could go $599 or $649, but I don't see them making a much better iPhone than the iPhone 8. Cheaper than the iPhone 8 for the base model, but who knows? Maybe they're in a good mood this year. Maybe they will lower the price to $649 or $599 like some older iPhones used to cost. Realistically though, I think it is going to be $699. New iPhones aren't the only thing coming later this year though. We just got a new leaked document from the EEC again, courtesy of Consomac, who always does a fantastic job of finding these before anybody else. And it shows that 5 new Macs and 5 new iPads are coming at some point in the future. Apple has registered these products through the EEC. They have to do this in parts of the world to make sure that they have the proper permissions to market these new products ahead of launch or prepare marketing materials for the actual launch of the product. So we've seen this a number of times. It came true with new MacBooks and iPads in 2017, and the documents were spot on for the new iPad in March. I believe the documents leaked in February. The product was released in March. Now in April, the only thing that hasn't happened yet is we saw I think 11 new iPhone models leaked the exact same way, registered through the EEC. A lot of us, myself included, were fully on board with the idea that Apple would be releasing an iPhone SE2 at WWDC, and these would be all the different models and configurations of it. That wasn't true. In fact, these new 11 iPhone models that were registered were not the iPhone SE2 at all, and now we're hearing that the iPhone SE2 in general was canceled. It's not happening anymore. So what I think now is that these iPhone models registered back in April are actually the new models coming out this September. They're going to be the iPhone 9, the iPhone 11, and the iPhone 11 Plus that we've been talking about forever. And these new iPads and Macs, I also think, will be coming out this September or October later this year at Apple's big events that they plan on having. But there's a flaw in that too, because all of the products registered aren't running iOS 12 or macOS 10.14. You would think if Apple was planning to release these products, the software running on them would be next gen. iOS 12 will be out in September when the new iPhones come out. macOS 10.14 will be out in September or October when the new Macs would presumably come out. However, everything listed on the newest EEC document and even the iPhone one says these phones, these iPads, and these Macs are running iOS 11 and macOS 10.13 respectively. None of them are being registered with the latest version of iOS, which is weird because if Apple was waiting until September, they would be testing the version of iOS that would release ahead of time or at the same time as the products were announced. But that's not the case here. I think I was reading something on 9to5 Mac, and they suggested that this could be Apple trying to throw everybody off because they want to keep things secretive and have as few leaks as possible. So maybe they're just trying to confuse us. They're not releasing these EEC documents or filing for new products until months ahead instead of just weeks ahead like they did in the past. We don't know. I don't know if any of this is true. This is all speculation. What is for sure is that we are almost certainly going to see iPads or Macs at some point later this year. We know a lot about the new iPads coming already. They're going to have Face ID. They're going to have a near bezel-less design. They're going to sort of be like the iPhone 10 applied to the iPad, and we recently saw an incredible concept highlighting everything that these iPads could potentially be incredibly well done. I'll leave a link to it down below. But the Macs have been a lot more mysterious. We've heard that a new revamped like 12-inch MacBook Air is coming with a Retina display or a new version of the MacBook. But the MacBook Pros especially, so many people are ready to upgrade. I'm starting to look at upgrading my MacBook Pro just because my experience with the 2016 model hasn't been all that great. But we really haven't heard anything. We don't know anything about the spec bumps. We don't know anything about the new features. We don't know anything about the touch bar getting improved upon. We just haven't heard anything about the MacBook Pro until just a couple days ago. 9to5Mac found a leaked Geekbench score for an unreleased 13-inch MacBook Pro. The model is MacBook Pro 15,2 with a single core score of 4,448 and a multi-core score of 16,607, which is very, very impressive. 9to5Mac, for reference, includes some scores from the 2017 MacBook Pro, which was 4,600 single score and 9,500 multi-core, which is crazy. Like 9,500 in 2017 to 16,607 in 2018 would be a really, really big upgrade. But once again, this is a Geekbench score, so we don't know how reputable it is. It could have been faked. It looks legit. It looks real. But we're not 100% sure, as with any rumor or any leak. That's gonna wrap up this video though. If you enjoyed, drop a like for more videos like this. Hit subscribe, that'd be amazing. And if you do wanna help support the channel, you get a shirt like the one I'm wearing right now over at shop.iupdateos.com, and that would be incredible. For now, I have been Sam. I hope all of you are doing great, and I'll talk to you in my next video.